So I will keep doing it. I mean, politics can't be like that in a way. It's got to be talking about serious things, and then comedy goes in at the back. It took me ages actually to work out how to do comedy, but you just have to say what you mean politically first, and then you put comedy against the other team at the back.
Anyone said to you that there's already enough comedians in politics? Or?
No one has already said to me there is enough comedians in politics, but I think it was the leader of the Tory party. Well, no, but no, not the leader, the chair of the Tory party, I think it was, back in Britain, who was talking about Boris Johnson, who is Mayor of London at the moment, and I think they're kind of pissed off with him because he keeps attacking the Prime Minister, who's on the same Conservative side, same party. And so this guy said, well, they said, what do you think of Boris Johnson? He said, well, he's a comedian. And you can see this guy was just furious. And I don't listen to his voice. So no, I mean, obviously the thing they go, it's like you have Senator Al Franken who came in, everyone thought he was just going to do the funny version of politics, but Al's been, I know Al, and he's been very serious and to get on with the job and try and do as good as he can for Minnesota and for Democrats around the country. So he's out there fighting really hard at the moment. So yes, questions, put your hand up, yes.
If you look to your down right,
Sorry?
on the ground, look
Yes.
to your down right.
Yes?
Yes.
Someone gives you a big present.
For you, from the ground.
Okay.
It's a local.
That's very good. I will deal with that in my sweet time. We'll get the bomb detector. No. So it's goat cheese. I have a problem with cheese. I can't eat cheese or food. Yes, sorry.
So I want to know about Minnie Driver and Toni Collette. So what was it like working with them?
It was very good working, both very excellent actresses and actors, female actors, and I could learn a lot. Minnie was just, I'm not sure whether Minnie really wanted to be doing the FX show initially, but she came in and did such effortless, great work in there that it was interesting just to sit and watch. And I learned a lot from doing the Riches. I love doing the Riches. There are only 18 episodes, but it sticks around like Freaks and Geeks, just hung around. And then people like Samuel L. Jackson say to me in a lift or an elevator, as you would call it, saying, "What the hell happened to your son?" And I was going, "Oh shit, you've been watching it." And people in France, and so it's got this great cult status. So that was great. And working with Toni Collette was also great. And I worked with her before, of course, on Velvet Goldmine, if you know, the film from one of my early films where I was still learning to face in the right direction. But yeah, so I worked with a number of good people, and that is the key thing. Treasure Island was great. If you ever see Treasure Island, which is now on DVD, and it was out on Sci-Fi and only just one airing, and now it's a DVD. But have a look at that because that's great. It's got great British actors in there, and Donald Sutherland and Elijah Wood. So, and I think it's the most kick-ass version of Treasure Island ever. I have to watch the Charlton Heston, Christian Bale version, but I just thought it was a very interesting, edgy, punk version of it. So anyway, have a look at that if you want to. Yes, sorry.
Tell me about your interest in South Africa.
My interest in South Africa, I know where it is, so I thought, well, Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela, of course, is an amazing person. I felt that he could be the most amazing person to have lived in a way, because he was a practical politician, but a very good politician. Now, people think of him as just a wonderful saint-like person, and I don't think he should be looked like that, and I don't think he wants to be remembered in that way. He was actually someone who was a wise person and had great fortitude and was a great leader. And Walter Sisulu said that when he first saw him, he thought, this guy has the charisma to be able to maybe lead the ANC and take it further than it had gone at that point. So it's from Nelson Mandela, or from the young kids growing up since 1990 when he was released. They were saying, I was meeting them, there's a guy called Trevor Noah who I met, who's now been playing in Britain, and he's playing in America, and he's a great stand-up. And he was saying, you should get down to South Africa because everyone wants to come and play now. Most people come down because the embargo, of course, had disappeared after Nelson Mandela was released. And so playing there was great. It'd be great that if Africa, the whole of Africa was in a great place, but Nelson Mandela and South Africa put together is just a place where I felt I had to be. So that's why I've been running marathons down there. Yes, I'm going to anyone on the side. I'm going to go there to the gentleman here.
Hi.
Hi.
What is your favorite drink and can I buy you one?
My favorite drink is a bucket of gold. I don't really have a favorite drink, but thank you. I'll just take that as a thank you. But yes, I drink. I'm not supposed to drink anything. I'm not supposed to drink or eat anything ever. So it's not a very good answer, but yes, red wine is quite nice though. So yes, okay, this gentleman.
How did you get the role of Mr. Kite?
I'm not sure. Apparently, according to Julie Taymor, the cast put my name forward.
Really?
So, and then she got me in and said, I said, how are we doing? Are we going to sing this? Because I don't come from a singing background. Or do I sing it like Rex Harrison? And so we just started into it, and it turned into this talking, strange thing. And I did it three times. They were recorded. Julie Taymor edited it together how she wanted it, and then I found that because I was ad-libbing all these chunks in it, that I had to lip sync that, which is actually almost impossible because you can't lip syncing things to a beat is fine, but to ad-libs, which are just coming out like this, all that bit about the horse and the whole middle section was just bizarrely different. I also had 2 days' notice before I found out how to do that. So I went to sleep listening to the music. I didn't have a really good day. There was a day outdoors filming in the upstate New York in the field, and that was a tough day. It was easy when it was in the studio, but yeah, it turned out to quite a weird, interesting little piece. So that's how I got that. So yes.
What was it like working with David Mamet on Broadway last year?
David was great. We disagreed on a lot of things. He wasn't so into football. We shoot soccer. We shoot ball spoons. And I said that football would save the world, and he said no, that wasn't true. And because the World Cup was on at the time. And I think the dignity that football, that soccer, that can give. Because it's a great American game, but America, I know, looks at it like, well, I don't know if it is our game. But it's because you can be very tall and you can be brilliant. You can be very short and be brilliant. You can be very wide and very thin. And it's perfect. You know, America is about, you can come from nowhere and get everywhere. And that's the essence of it, of America, I feel. That great essence, as opposed to some other Mitt Romney. Right. If you have a lot of money, clap your hands. 47% people. I think, you know, it's so that was what I disagree with David about, and also his politics seems to have gone slightly to the right, where I would like them to be. But then you know, David's going to go where David goes. Yeah, so it was fun doing that with him, and he's a very generous person. And if you talk about a film or a book, he wishes you get the book, and the book appears and it's something given to you. So that's a very nice trait, which I didn't realize. He's not like you think he'd be. Some bits of him is just like you think he'd be, and other bits are completely different. The inverse. Yes,
you're very good at dealing with hecklers. Where did that start, and do you feel like
Fuck off. Sorry, it was comedy. I was trying to work it. So where did that start?
do you feel like it adds a certain something?
So anime?
Do you feel like it adds anything to the
Doing heckle? Well, it can really change the energy. Like the energy of this talking here is the energy of the room, and there is a different thing. I'm not talking out of the room about being on the moon or human sacrifice or something. I'm just talking about stuff here. So if someone heckles you, it is in fact, if anyone ever does stand-up or does public speaking or politics, it is an actual challenge. It is felt by everyone, and it's an actual challenge verbally, like a duel. It's like what's your famous duel with Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr? Yes, it's one of those. It's one of those babies, but no one dies. Well, you can actually die. No, you can die on stage, but die on stage. Die with rabbit ears. And so you have to know that. And if you're a performer, if you're doing okay, if you're doing badly, then the audience becomes a gang against you. So if you're a performer who's starting off, it's very difficult. If you're not doing well, they go, boring, go on, say something funny. It's very difficult to come back and say, ha, ha, you say boring. Yeah, I do say boring. Well, how boring? then you just go down a plug hole. But if you're going good, as you get your feet under the table in performing, they can say that. And there are certain tricks, like say the first thing that comes back into your head, because people are heckling, they normally sit there going, I'll say something now, you know, and they go, you're boring. You go, yes, I like to be boring. Boring is great. In fact, this was the best boring show I've ever done. I actually am going to take it down a bit now, and I do this thing of imposing scenarios. And I say, this is Steve. He's just come along. He's having a lot of therapy, and one of his therapies is to come and say complete rubbish in public places. He's here tonight, and his friend of mine, he's actually my son. So you can impose scenarios. I discovered this technique of imposing scenarios, and then I'd say every 5 minutes he'll chuck stuff in. Say something now, Steve, and then as soon as you say to someone, heckle now, they go, well, and then they don't say anything. Or if they do, they go, go away. Losing the edge now, Steve. So, it's arrogance is bizarrely the safety position of being heckled. If someone heckles you. But this is why I got into stand-up. There's a guy called Jeremy Hardy, a stand-up comedian in Britain. And I was a street performer at the time, and he was at this place, which was quite a bear pit of a club, and somebody said some heckle, and he sort of put him down and moved on. The guy said something again, and apparently Jeremy said to the guy, oh, you want to play, do you? So, yeah, that's a great place to be. You know, and they just demolished him, saying, no, you've got to make a sentence out of it. You've got to be strong with your words, you know. So that's where heckling is one of the scariest things for performers to deal with, because you're not only dealing with, can I get these words out and make ideas happen, but you've also, someone's just said something out of nowhere. So coming straight back at them is one of the best things to do. I would come to you, but you've said something. Okay, say something quick.
I first saw you in London must be 1990 at the Comedy Club, I think. It was Jack D and the
Comedy Store?
Comedy Store,
Yeah.
the Tracy Brothers. Is there anything about that time that you miss, sort of back in the early days?
I do like,
The accent.
I do like my accent. Yes, that's a bit of a weird segment. No, the question was, is there anything about the old days that I like about being back in the clubs? And I do like being in the clubs, and I do like playing small, because that would be about this size of people. And so, I mean, I do, you know, when I was in France, I was doing the gigs all in French in 120 seats, same size, a bit smaller than the Comedy Store. And that was a great energy. And so, and I like hanging out. I do miss hanging out with the other stand-ups. And if you go to the Edinburgh Festival, they're there, and I see them sort of occasionally, but it is